Welcome to Reiki Made Easy. No written records can be found about Mikao Usui, the founder of what we call today the system of Reiki. There seems to be many different versions about his life, but starting from his memorial stone the story can be told as follows. Mikao Usui was born on the 15th of August 1865 in the small village of Tandai in the Yamagata district in Kyoto. He probably came from a wealthy family, as at the time only children from wealthy families could receive a good education. Whilst finishing his studies at traditional Tendai Buddhist monastery, Usui also mastered samurai swordsmanship and different martial arts. At some point in his life, Usui intensified his quest for spiritual understanding and became a Buddhist monk at Tendai and Zen temples in Kyoto for about 3 years. After this time he retreated on Mount Kurama and began a 21-day period of fasting and meditation, almost bringing him on the brink of death. On the last day of his meditation, Usui experienced a type of enlightenment in which one is continually in a state of supernatural peace, when he suddenly saw a bright light around him, saw ancient Sanskrit symbols, and felt for the first time a great sense of oneness and energetic connection. Alongside his spiritual awareness, Mikao Usui found out he had acquired the ability to channel Reiki energy and facilitate physical healing. After this event, in April 1922, Usui-sensei opened his first school, clinic in Tokyo, where he started to teach his method for self-discovery and spiritual growth, while offering healing sessions at a relatively cheap price or even for free. By the time of his death on the 9th of March 1926, Usui-sensei had trained around 20 Reiki masters to ensure his system would live on. One of them was Dr. Hayashi. Dr. Hayashi was a retired naval officer that became a Reiki master when he was 47 years old. It seems he began to make alterations to the original teachings, with the blessing of Usui. Dr. Hayashi went on to develop the Usui system of Reiki. He opened a clinic in Tokyo, and kept detailed records of all treatments given. He used this information to introduce additional hand positions to cover more of the body, and alter the attunement process. By the time of his death, Dr. Hayashi had trained 13 students to become Reiki masters. 2 of these were Mrs. Yamaguchi, who preserved the original teaching in Japan, and Mrs. Takata, who brought the system of Reiki to the West. Mrs. Chiyoko Yamaguchi learned Reiki when she was just 17 years old, and she taught it until her death in 2003. Until the 1990s, Mrs. Yamaguchi was not aware of the fact that Reiki was known worldwide. When she realized that some of the things she had learned had been changed or omitted, Mrs. Yamaguchi decided to start teaching Reiki courses to show people exactly what she had learned, things that had proved so invaluable to her all her life. Mrs. Hoyo Takata was born on the 24th of December 1900, on the island of Kauai, Hawaii, from Japanese parents. She worked very hard as she was growing up, and as a result, Mrs. Takata became severely ill. In 1935, Mrs. Takata arrived in Tokyo and was told that her condition was very serious. In searching for an alternative treatment to the suggested surgery, which she had refused, she came across with Dr. Hayashi's clinic. She began receiving Reiki treatments, twice a day. In 4 months she was completely healed. Impressed by the results, she wanted to learn Reiki, so in the spring of 1936 Mrs. Takata received Reiki first degree, and after working with Dr. Hayashi for 1 year she received Reiki second degree. She then returned to Hawaii and practiced Reiki regularly over the next 2 years until 1938, when Dr. Hayashi visited her, and attuned her to Reiki master. Due to World War II and that all things coming from Japan were seen as hostile during the period, it is said that Mrs. Takata altered the teachings of Reiki to be more acceptable for the West. Between 1970 and her transition on the 11th of December 1980, Mrs. Takata initiated 22 Reiki masters. These 22 teachers have taught many others, such that there are now thousands of Reiki masters around the world today, and the Reiki lineages grow longer every day, making this fantastic method of self-realization and energy healing the fastest growing system being taught in the world today. Always remember that we have to learn from our past in order to create a better future, and if you don't tend your roots, the tree may wither away. Thanks for making it through, and see you at the next one, where we will dive deeper into this subtle, yet really powerful energy healing system. Peace.